Students need additional practice factoring polynomials completely. Vocabulary. A factor. Factors are what you can multiply together to get an expression. A variable is a symbol for numbers you do not know yet. A square root. The square root of a number is a value that, when multiplied by itself, gives that same number. And a binomial is a polynomial with two terms. Our first problem is 16x squared y squared minus 25. The way to go about this problem is to first look at the problem and see that every term in this problem can be taken the square root of. So you set the entire equation under a square root, and you do the square root of 16, which is 4, and the square root of x squared and y squared, which is xy, and the square root of 25, which is 5. And you get 4xy plus 5 times the quantity 4xy minus 5. Another example of this problem is 81x squared minus 36. We set this problem up the same way because you can take the square root of all of these numbers. After taking the square root, you get the square root of 81 is 9, the square root of x squared is x, and the square root of 36 is 6. So you set it up as 9x plus 6 times the quantity 9x minus 6. For a real-world application problem, the problem is a rectangular building in Chicago has an area of 216 feet squared. The length of the building is 6 feet longer than the width. Find the length and the width of the building. To set this problem up, we have the width, which is w, the length, which is w plus 6. The formula for the area of a rectangle is length times width. So we set it up as w plus 6 times w equals 216. You use the distributive property to multiply w times w and w times 6, which gives you w squared plus 6w equals 216. Then you have to subtract 216 from both sides to set the equation equal to 0. After this, you factor that trinomial and you find what multiplies to negative 216 and what adds to positive 6, and you get w minus 12 times the quantity w plus 18. You then have to set both of these equal to 0, and you end up with w equals 12 and w equals negative 18. There is a red X by w equals negative 18 because in this specific problem it's asking for the length and the width, and you are not able to have a negative length and width. This makes the width, which equals w 12, and the length, which equals w plus 6, 18. Some common mistakes when doing these problems is that you cannot factor a problem by taking the square root if you are adding the second term, such as 16x squared y squared plus 25. It always has to be subtracting. Here is why. If you factored that problem into 4xy plus 5 times the quantity 4xy plus 5, multiplying it back out would give you 16x squared y squared plus 20xy plus 20xy plus 25, which will not be the same problem.